Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Down the Rabbit Hole News. I am the Rabbit. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for supporting my channel. We're going to get right into it now. I wanted to bring something to your guys' attention. Please note that I have been talking about Liam Payne on my pre-recorded videos as well as my lives. I've been doing a lot of Liam Payne conversation on my lives, in part because I really enjoy, having a conversation with you guys and having you guys be part of that conversation during that live stream. So there was a comment that somebody left me that asked me if I was doing any more Liam Payne videos. I said I am, but I'm doing them more on the live stream. I like to combine a little bit of both. So don't think that I have left the topic. I said that I wouldn't. I'm still on it. It's just that you'll find more content coverage on the live videos. And that just kind of gives me a little bit of a break because I've been editing a lot of videos. So it's kind of nice to just be able to move over on a live stream and I have to worry less about editing. But let's get into this video. So an article came about and I wanted to talk a little bit about what Liam Payne's dad is saying, what people have been able to interpret. As you guys know, recently we did talk about Liam Payne's dad and his testimony, him as a witness, the things that he saw. This is from the Latin Times. Liam Payne's dad gave a statement to the Argentinian judiciary regarding his son's death. Details about Liam's health, his relationship, and how he learned of the tragedy. We talked a little bit about this in the live stream, that it was said that Liam Payne's dad testified that he was fine, sober, and this is how he described the last time that he met Liam, which was August 29th of 2024 in Manchester, England. This is where he celebrated Liam's 31st birthday. The family saw Liam at least once a month, spending time with him and his young son, Bear. They were aware of struggles with addictions, a battle that began during his time in One Direction, but they believed he was stable. Unfortunately, the reality was far from different. If Liam was struggling with his addictions and, maybe he was hiding some of this. And I think it's important to kind of highlight, he didn't want people to know the truth. Maybe this is part of the issue. And maybe this is what Liam Payne's dad might be struggling with currently, right? That he didn't get to the truth, or that maybe Liam was surrounded by a lot of enablers. So according to Liam Payne's father, he is quoted saying, "We managed to stabilize him, but Liam wasn't improving. He was stable, but not getting better. During this time, Liam received a call from Roger. I didn't know who he was," Liam's dad said, referring to Roger Norris, an Argentinian businessman who offered to help Liam with no strings attached. To me, that always kind of worries me, like when somebody comes into, someone's life, especially when they're like in a vulnerable position, and you're offering to help him with no strings attached. Why? Nobody ever helps anybody for free, especially when it's somebody who, might be wealthy, has a little money, did Roger see Liam as like a walking dollar sign? It makes you wonder about this because I just don't know how I feel about this. When somebody's struggling with addiction or whatever, they're vulnerable to a lot of things, okay? They're vulnerable to be perpetrated on. They're vulnerable to be targeted on. That happens a lot more than what we know. Think of Matthew Perry, right? His assistant of like 24 years was also charged and accused of a lot of things. His assistant knew how vulnerable he was and he participated in making Matthew Perry ill because he was getting a lot of money from it. I think it's something to point out, right? Acting on Nora's suggestion for a change of scenery, Liam's dad and a bodyguard traveled with the businessman to Wellington, Florida, about 90 minutes north of Miami, where Norris had friends. We spent 10 weeks there with Liam. The four of us worked as a team, Roger, the bodyguard, and myself, under the supervision of psychologists and psychiatrists Roger had arranged. So Roger was aware, right? Like, There was psychiatrists, psychologists, all of these professionals, and even the bodyguards were around and aware of what was going on. I don't have their contract details now. This is what Liam Dad said. He added that Liam's girlfriend visited occasionally, so Kate Cassidy was aware. Let me ask you guys, how much blame, and I feel like I need to be careful on how I ask this because I feel like I already know my answer, but I do want to know, let me know in the comments. How much blame do you guys put on Kate Cassidy over this? Or the assistant manager, Lula Miranda? He added that Liam's girlfriend visited occasionally. The woman in question is believed to be Kate Cassidy, who was often seen on social media with Liam and accompanied him to Argentina. Over the time, Nora's intentions appeared to shift. According to Liam's father, Nora began pressuring Liam to engage in business deals. A person who's struggling with addiction, notice has the upper hand, telling him to engage in business deals. What kind of business deals? This is what I mean. It's like, it sounds like Rogelio saw him as a walking dollar sign instead of a friend. When I first met Roger, his focus seemed to be Liam's well-being, and I thought he was genuine. Later, Roger shifted his focus and even tried to involve his girlfriend in the circle of trust we built around Liam, his girlfriend, the bodyguard, and myself. The girlfriend being Lula Miranda, right? The one that really has people haven't really talked about. They haven't really done videos about her because there isn't a lot of information out there about her. But she was well aware. She was the assistant manager. All of this looks so suspect to me when it comes to these characters. And what about the bodyguards? Why didn't Liam Payne have any bodyguards the day that he died? Where were they at? Aren't they part of the team? Did the team take the day off? I mean, it sounded like they wanted their own little treatment center and they were using facilities and, people's houses and bodyguards and stuff like that and hotels to basically pass the buck, right? On an actual addict who was having issues at that time. It's weird. According to Liam's dad, Liam didn't own a phone, saying it helped him avoid the temptation of drugs. Well, somebody was texting Liam. Liam was texting somebody. How did he get a hold of the prostitutes? How did this happen? Boy, none of this is making sense. He communicated through other people's phones, with Notice often providing updates about Liam's condition. However, it later emerged that Liam did acquire a phone. Somebody gave him a phone, unless it wasn't Liam Payne who was texting the whole time. Could have been somebody else. He used it to contact a hotel employee and a waiter in Buenos Aires to supply him with the cocaine. According to court documents, both individuals are in pretrial detention, facing the charges of drug distribution and sale. The trip to Argentina, initially planned for 5 days according to Norris, was extended indefinitely. Norris claimed his relationship with Liam was purely friendly. However, leaked documents from the Casa Sur Hotel, which we've talked about here, where Liam eventually died, show that Norris identified himself as Liam's manager. Given this context and the fact that Norris was the last of Liam's close circle to see him alive, he now faces charges of negligent homicide. He is one of 5 indicted in connection with Liam's death. Investigators also included statements from Liam's psychiatrist, his girlfriend, who left Argentina 2 days prior to his death, and others who interacted with him. The worst news for a father. This is what Liam Payne's dad is quoted saying. I learned about Liam's death from Roger. I was at home with my wife when he called me at about 5:23 p.m. Buenos Aires time. I didn't see the call until about an hour later. In the meantime, he called again and left a message asking me to call him back as soon as possible. When I finally saw him, I missed the call at about 6:18 p.m. I called him back. It was Notice who delivered the devastating news and urged Liam's dad to travel to Argentina. Liam's sister learned about their brother's death through the media. Less than 2 days later, Liam's dad was at Casa Sur Hotel, accompanied by Paul Higgins, an Irish security expert and former One Direction tour manager. There, Liam gave statements met with the authorities handling the case and made arrangements for Liam's body. He never spoke to Nordis again. Like, Roger, you're so disgusting. I just cannot believe it. Almost 3 weeks after the death of his son, Liam's dad led Liam's funeral surrounded by close family and friends. I want to highlight something that was said, and this was written in Infobay and various articles, okay? Liam Payne's dad felt like the responsibility of his son's health was at the hands of a lot of individuals, like the individuals that were well aware of his struggles. There was no hiding it. Kate Cassidy can't say, I didn't know. Lula Miranda can't say, I didn't know. Roger Norris can't say, I didn't know. Nobody in this circle, the security team, cannot say they did not know what was wrong. They put themselves in that role, in that position, the minute that they decided to bring in psychiatrists, psychologists, take a lead in this. They saw an ill man who was struggling with substances as a business opportunity. Liam Payne was a business opportunity. Okay? And because of a series of events, unfortunately well aligned events, this man is no longer here. We will continue to talk about Liam Payne, but I think it is BS that only 5 people have been charged, when clearly there should be more people charged. And Kate Cassidy, who I have reserved a lot of my opinions and thoughts, right? But she was well aware of what this man, who she said she loved, was dealing with. Was she also responsible for the care of this man? I don't know how I could go to his funeral and face his family the way that she has. Maybe I'm not really ready to talk about how I feel at this point, given as more information is coming about. But if it shows that she is a lot more responsible than what is being said, then shame on her. I'm going to hold up on that. I am. I'll see you guys on the next one. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.